Okay, so Matt, could you please introduce yourself, just your name and your role and the name of your agency?
Yeah, I am the sales director at Senior Insurance Brokers in Fort Worth, Texas. Our agency, Senior Insurance Brokers, has been a company now since 1998. We're in the Medicare industry. We help seniors with Medicare decisions. We help seniors with life insurance, financial goals, and retirement, and other aspects that seniors would be interested in as they come into retirement age.
Before we started working together in July of 2023, how many agents did you oversee in your role as a sales director?
Yeah, at that time, actually, we had just about 15 agents working with us. For lack of a better term, we would be termed as a mom and pop shop. We organically brought our team together. For instance, my mother is one of our agents here, so it was a friend of a friend. Now, fast forward to today, and we have 32 agents in our office, so we've more than doubled our size, which does lend to what we're able to do with Keywave, because that was able to allow us opportunity to bring in more agents by having more leads, which was, in this industry, that's what's important, or that's what's important to our agency.
So, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced in helping your sales team connect with people that needed help with Medicare and retirement before you started working with us?
So limited reach, limited engagement, and the process I would deem efficient was becoming less efficient. Our leads, while we would bring them in ourselves, they could sit in our hopper. In other words, they could sit in our hopper for months at a time. So that was where our limited engagement was, because we weren't specifically directing these leads to agents like we are with Keywave when a seminar opportunity is made available.
Can you describe what your typical day looked like when dealing with those challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's best for understanding what we do here is just kind of give you our SOPs, standard operating procedures for the agency. So we would make outbound phone calls, set appointments based off leads in a regional area that our agents would work. They would simply make calls, set appointments, and then they would go visit those folks on Wednesdays and Thursdays. The main issue is, I guess it's a good problem, is we would have so many leads because, again, going back to 1998, so we would have leads that were 15 years old in that hopper. And so the agents would get those leads while also getting leads that could be 3 weeks old. The problem was the agents couldn't differentiate the time frame of those leads. So we weren't giving them the newest, freshest. We were giving them the newest, freshest leads, but they weren't able to adjust the parameters to be able to see those. Where when we knew we were getting a lead from Keywave, it's dated, it's given to the agent immediately. So it's just much more powerful of an opportunity for the agents.
Can you say like a roundabout number of how many leads and new clients you were getting each month roughly before working with us?
I see. Yeah. So I would say on average, an agent here is going to get between 3 and 5 new enrollees each week. And that was our goal every week, was we're trying to set 10 to 12 appointments, and we're trying to get 3 to 5 new clients. That was beforehand. That still occurs now, because what we did with Keywave was we essentially pitch for the agent was supplement what you do here. So we didn't necessarily change our SOPs, we just added on top and say, that's why with you guys, what's fantastic is we were able to regionally set up already in our regions that we've had for 15 plus years to say, okay guys, you're going to go work in Abilene. We're going to Abilene, Texas. We're going to set up the seminar for you. Keywave's going to handle literally everything other than personal contact, because your contact points are amazing too. The continuous outreach, which, by the way, I got an email this morning from a seminar lead in Abilene telling me about the restaurant that we had picked, and giving me some info about that restaurant. So I thought
Was
that
it
was great.
good or bad news?
It was good news. Yeah, I
Okay.
think they were happy that we picked the place,
Okay.
and I went back and forth with them, and now we've already handed that person off before ever even seeing them to the agent, and now they're already starting to work with them, which is something we just couldn't do previously. It just wasn't built into our model. Just from beginning to first contact in the original SIB model and how we generated leads, from that lead getting generated, it's weeks before it hits an agent. Now, it's an exclusive lead, just like yours are, but you can see that time frame is what was a hindrance for us. So back to the original question. About 3 to 5 before you guys, and then if you want to go ahead and know that number afterwards, we're getting not quite double, but we're getting between 6 and 8. But some of our seminars, that's what the agents get for the entire week. So we've been able to get those 3 to 5 that are still necessary on those off weeks by just filling in with our seminars. So it's been fantastic.
So in addition to like those leads you were talking about purchasing, what other forms of marketing were you guys doing? Like any sort of mailing or like other online leads? And what were you spending on those other forms of marketing? Roughly.
Okay, so for our agency, it was all simply the antiquated outreach off of lists. Then that was the only lead generation we had done until 2023. In 2023, which is the reason why you guys got on my radar, in 2023, we started to dabble in Meta and try to go down that road, which I'm a millennial, 37 years old. I was one of the early generations of Facebook.
Yeah.
I was a freshman in college when Facebook came out. So I thought I knew how to work Facebook and marketing, and I didn't. So it was a complete failure. It was several $1,000s that we had spent, and I know in the grand scheme of things, several $1,000s for lead generation is not a lot of money. But to get zero return on it was such a letdown in a market that I thought boomers are turning 65 every day, over 10,000. They are on Facebook. This should be fish in a barrel. No. Had to have somebody that knew what they were doing, that knows how to set parameters up, how to accurately market to that demographic, and that's what you guys were able to do, which has been phenomenal for us. Spending wise, our agency would spend roughly, gosh, that's a great question. We have W-2 employees that work for senior insurance brokers, and then with our other methods, I would say we're over $10,000, almost $15,000 a month in lead generation, and we're getting probably, sorry, I'm doing mental math off the top, probably 150 to 200 leads a month, doing that math very quickly off the top of my head, so don't hold me to that. But yeah, that's about what we were getting, and none of that was coming in any new avenues. It was, we were just trying to work with different companies. It didn't work out. Then we tried to do it on ourselves. It didn't work out. And then honestly, I spoke with Beth Moss. And Beth Moss was the one that introduced the concept of Keywave, and she didn't know much about you guys, but that's where we started early in 2023 to get working with you guys.
Cool. I didn't realize you guys weren't doing any seminars before, or absolutely none? Okay.
None, not a single one. I was introduced to the concept of a seminar. I know about seminars. So to backtrack on that statement, we did run seminars, but they were financially focused. So we were doing Social Security seminars. We worked with a financial advisor. It was all, again, based around Meta, and that was just an absolute failure. We were able to get folks to show up to dinners, but then after that, we could not turn them into clients. We gave them a lot of information on how Social Security works and what they can, what they're going to have coming as they age into Medicare, and then that was about it. So after about 8 months of that was in 2022. After about 8 months of that, we shelved that program. And so when I went to Jake Bailey. He's no longer the owner. Not off the top of my head, I cannot think of what his title is. Anyways, I went to Jake Bailey and I explained to him about you guys and how Beth Moss just sang your praises. It was still a hard sell. And that's why I would say we just kind of dipped our toe in the water with you guys in at the very, very beginning. And now, as you can see, we're ramping up more and more as we continue moving down the path with y'all.
So how did you first hear about Keywave Digital, and what specifically caught your attention?
So I will give you some insight. So American Senior Benefits is our partner company. My agency, Senior Insurance Brokers, is one regional office for American Senior Benefits. We have 1,500 agents around the country. We're in all 50 states. We were at an annual convention for qualifiers for American Senior Benefits based on production. So these were the tip top of American Senior Benefits agents. Well, then, agent who was the top Medicare producer for our company, American Senior Benefits, not Senior Insurance Brokers, was giving a acceptance speech. And during that speech, she mentioned Keywave. And she also mentioned how that she meets with people is because of seminars. It's the only way. There's no outreach other than the specific outreach to the people that she was meeting with. This agent, Beth Moss, was by far and above the top agent. It was not a question. This is also coming from somebody that has myself that's been in the insurance industry now doing Medicare for over 15 years. And I thought we were doing pretty good. Well, then that year, she had tripled our best agents production. So that's going to raise anybody's eyebrows. So then I pulled her aside during that conference, had a lunch with her, and that was how we got introduced to Keywave. So then I went to Paul Zobel, her regional sales manager, the managing partner of her office, which is what Jake Bailey is, the managing partner of our agency. And then they got us in touch with you guys.
Just one follow-up question to that is, did you have any doubts or concerns before deciding to work with us, and what were your main reservations?
Yeah, so immediate doubt was, other than our antiquated system that was working and still works today, we had reservations just because everything that we did up to that point didn't work. We thought, okay, seniors are getting into technology. Seniors, we walk into homes every day. We sit belly to belly at the kitchen table. And generally speaking, they're getting off their phone from Facebook. They're getting off their tablets from some form of social media. And so we thought, again, in late 2022, that this would be a no-brainer. And when we tried it, going through the process that Med basically lays out and says, this is how you can do this, we did that and it didn't work. So when we started the idea of working with you guys, the very, very beginning, that was the initial reservation. What really sold it for Keywave was Paul Zobel and Beth Moss. Their belief in your system was enough for us to say, we have these reservations, but we're going to go 100%, 110% all in on it to see if this will work and test the concept. And so that first 6-month period, that's what we were doing, was simply just testing the concept. And it obviously worked out great.
Cool. So what finally motivated you to take the next step and work with us back then?
Yeah. Circle back again to our sales convention and Beth Moss's speech and the glowing review we received, followed up by additional reviews from her direct management, Paul Zobel. Honestly, it was just, at the very beginning, Tim, it was, we're just going to actually just go for one seminar and see how it works. Get an understanding of the process. After meeting with you and you going through everything with me too, to show how simple the system is, how everything works, the automation process, just that seamless transition from they're interested to we're seeing them where we asked them to go. That whole process, when you laid that out for me, that was what really sealed the deal for us. You guys had made it to where it is as close to set it and forget it as it can get, but also with the ability for myself as the admin of, we have our agents, all 30 of them have access to it. So it was the simplicity of being able to explain to the agents, this is how you're going to work these leads, as they are exclusive to our agents and they can get into this system, make contact, text them from the system, email from the system. it just made it so easy that we thought, okay, the price is right. Number one, that's obviously one of the big issues. So the price was right, and you had a system that was fully functional, operational. What's been great is we haven't had to make much changes. And in a year and a half, it's simply been, we want to do more seminars. It hasn't been, you have that initial learning curve at the beginning, which everybody is going to have, but it was something that was so simple to work through and didn't take much time, that it's just been a great experience.
I really appreciate hearing that. Thanks, Matt. So this is just going to kind of be talking about the first event in August 2023, if you recall. So after running that first event, how did the initial marketing efforts unfold, as well as the first seminar with us?
Yeah. So first seminar was at a Golden Corral. I want to say that Golden Corral was in North Richland Hills, which is a suburb of Fort Worth, in between Dallas and Fort Worth. Basically, you guys were able to get 45 RSVPs to our seminar. We had roughly 40 people show up to our seminar, and it was like literally the worst case that could happen. We had slide presentations. We go to hook up, it doesn't work. We said, okay, well, we'll run down to FedEx Kinko's and we'll print out our presentation so we can hand it out. Obviously, these are things we should have tested beforehand. We should have had the printouts on hand. We didn't know what we were doing. We were Medicare agents that were used to setting appointments on the phone and going to a home and sitting belly to belly. So we took that mindset in. And having done that, it became a hot mess. But also, because the way that your communications went out to them to explain what we were going to talk about, because we made our calls beforehand and told them again who we were and what the point of the seminar was. Even having screwed all of the preparation and getting there, it was like if the room could be any smaller too, because we didn't go and look at the room. So we had 40 people jammed into this tiny little room. It was hot, but it became just this opportunity to show some personality and show these people, hey, we're a normal person, that we are specialists in Medicare, and I would say at this point experts in Medicare, as well as our other avenues that we work with our clients. But being able to help over 30 of those people in that very first seminar, we thought we had struck gold. And so that was awesome. But we also knew going in that even if it went down in flames, we weren't going to give up. But that was definitely very helpful at the very beginning, because then it was like, okay, well, we messed up. We helped a lot of people. Now we can refine, perfect, and that's where we are now. We have multiple projectors on hand just in case something goes wrong. We have multiple clickers in case one of our agents forgets a clicker, and we don't go to the same restaurant that we know are not going to work out for larger groups.
This might be jogging your memory a bit. I was going to ask about AEP of 2023. So, during that AEP of 2023, you hosted 12 events with Keywave Digital's marketing support. How did those events go, and how did that AEP go compared to previous efforts?
AEP 2023. So, last year, starting off with you guys, or our first, I feel like AEP 2023 was after the trial run with you guys in the summer. We decided, okay, we're gonna flip the switch and we're gonna try and run at least one a week every week for an agent through AEP. I apologize for the beginning. I'm just so excited. So AEP 2023, trying to figure out how to bring that system in, was also partially our fault, because it was just timing, right? We tried to get going as quickly as we could with you guys to ramp up for AEP, but by that time, when we started running one a month, we didn't actually just say one agent, you're going to run one a month. So we had to train multiple people on that. It still allowed for 6 or 7 agents to get more opportunities than what they would have had undoubtedly, and to get more clients than they would have had during that time frame. It took us about a year to really perfect the system. AEP 2023, we were up in our production as an agency compared to AEP 2022. not by much, by about 10%. I can't confirm those numbers are accurate. And our agency, on average, in Medicare premiums is doing over $6 million a year in Medicare premiums every year. So, to be up 10% was still a good number for us, and we were very happy with that return. Please tell me you're going to ask me about 2024.
Yeah, yeah, that's where we're going next.
Okay.
Okay, so from January 2024 to now, you guys have been running about 4 to 7 events per month, and totaling 18 during the AEP period of 2024.
Yes.
How have our marketing efforts impacted the number of seniors you're able to serve throughout the year, as well as that most recent AEP?
So, at this point now, I can actually drill into meaningful numbers, right? Because at the beginning, they're going to be inflated positively or negatively as we're working through on how we're turning leads into clients. And now I can tell you through AEP of this year, our agency, let's circle to just October, because that's what I've been so focused on as we just came out of AEP. So I can tell you that 25% of our agency's new clients have come from seminars. And that being said, AEP 2024 this year was literally the best 3 months. We're still in December with agents submitting production right now, but we're already in the best quarter our agency since its inception has ever had. We're going to top 2020's AEP by almost 50%. I mean, it was just
crazy.
It was like a perfect. We like to say around here that chaos creates opportunity. And right now, the Medicare, with everything going on politically, Medicare and Social Security is a hot button topic, as it normally is. But there were some significant changes that came along this year. So when we were getting our seminars set up, we did get more RSVPs than what we normally were, because a lot of folks were impacted. I know it's over 100,000 people in Texas alone were losing Medicare Advantage plans that they had in 2024, meaning they weren't going to have a Medicare Advantage in 2025. So just the way that we were set up, we were working in quite a few different areas of Texas. When we would do a seminar in a certain area, we were getting more RSVPs because of that reason. Now, the fact of the matter is, having utilized the Keywave's process to set up seminars, we're working with people we would have never gotten to work with. And so that's why our number just jumped so high on clients through Keywave, overall clients as well. But that percentage went way up. And so that's what's been a percentage of our actual clients being from seminars is what went way up this year. And that's what has been pivotal in driving our company's growth this year. It's just fantastic.
Based on what it sounds like you guys are really all in seminars at this point.
Yeah.
Has the marketing strategy evolved any other ways since working with us?
No. Which is great. I mean, other than we're going to do more and we're ramping up. And so, as a sales director, I control a little bit of the narrative on how we're going to generate leads, but I don't control the dollars and cents. But with the numbers the way that they have worked out for us, it's just a no-brainer. I mean, once you work through and you start to see the curve go up, it was a no-brainer to go take one step ahead. Now we're trying to run 2 a week. And then if that continues to prosper, we'll go to 3 a week. There's no limit on what we're willing to do as long as the system continues to work. You guys probably have been making changes, and algorithms are getting smarter on how to work with these people and get the folks to want to come. But on our end, we don't see that. It's as easy as it was from when I learned the system day one. And so that's what's been great is we can plug and play just about any agent that has any interest in doing a seminar and say, look, we've got SIB has you covered on what you're going to show. Keywave has you covered on working with the people. And if you want to just use Keywave's automation, you can do that. If you want to reach out and get in touch with these people by email or phone call, You can do that. Obviously, that should be done. But if they didn't want to, they don't have to. So that's been phenomenal for us that you guys have kept it easy for us.
Yeah, that's our main goal, really, just to make it as turnkey as possible for, experienced guys like you and your team.
You're doing great. I mean, they're just like us. We're 15 years without this ever. 15 years ago, this is a dream, right? So it's not even a dream. I mean, it's you can't even really put together 15 years ago, this is what we'd be doing. And I know there are people coming in now getting into this space, and this is the way that they do business. So I think we have the best of both worlds. I call our system antiquated, but it still works. It's still effective. It's still profitable. So being able to add you guys has been just life-changing isn't the right word, but it has helped our agency become more profitable, which is in the end what's.
So, with this contribution to increasing your marketing efforts, have you been able to focus on other parts of the sales process in your role as a sales director or other sort of initiatives?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So working with you guys has allowed me to, again, let's go back to what you said just a second ago. We want to keep it as turnkey as possible. So seminars in June of 2023 was my baby. I was going to make sure that we were going to get that thing off the ground. It was going to work. Now I have other middle management that handles the majority of the roles that are involved from SIB's management side to get those seminars out to their agents, make sure they're adequately working with the clients and keeping in touch with them. So it's allowed me to focus my attention in other areas. How can we better the seminar itself? So the iterations from seminar 1 and what we showed to what we do today, again, they're nothing alike. And that's because we've been able to have our agents go, they bring back feedback on how the seminar went, how the PowerPoint was done, and then I'm able to work on that, fix it up, and then tailor it to the way the agents need. Well, that right there was a game changer because I wasn't having to worry about also running that seminar. Well, then, it gives me more ability to be more hands-on with the agents, not just in seminars, just our sales process, helping find unique needs of all of our individual clients or prospects, as well as just making sure that we're the complete agent for our hopeful new clients.
What has been your typical return on investment on marketing events or any events since working with us?
Yeah, so in Medicare, as an agency, we understand that this is the long game. We know that if we put in $5,000 this month, the odds of a return on Medicare alone of zeroing out our investment are slim to none. Now, over 3 to 5 years, that's why we make sure that our agents understand we have to retain our clients. We have to do what's best for them. We have to be available to them when they need us because it does take a while for us to turn our investment into profit. That said, there are other avenues. We don't just work with Medicare. These are set up as Medicare seminars, but when we introduce ourselves, we're retirement specialists. We're experts in Medicare, but we work in other areas of concern. And then that gives us the ability to help the clients, again, with their unique needs, while also helping the agency recoup some of the investment. So are we actually up on as an agency? No, we're not. But we understand that. That's not the concern here, but our agents are. And that's where what's so important is when I bring Agent Joe that has no experience, that was a retail worker somewhere, to a 100% commission sales job and say, look, we're going to give you the opportunity to speak to 20 people each week with a set, and just doing that, our numbers are coming back that we can close over 50% of those clients. We can help somebody that would have failed prosper. And so I don't take it lightly because I recruit here as well. And when I have somebody in here and we're talking about how difficult this space can be. It's the greatest industry there is, undoubtedly. It has changed my life. It's changed my mother's life. I told you earlier, she's an agent here. It changed our life for the better. And that beginning of anybody's career is so hard. And so when we can plug in a new agent and show them the ropes of a seminar and then let them speak to these folks and really, hone the skill while explaining Medicare, who to somebody that's brand new to the industry, it's new to them too. So everybody's learning together, and it really does organically create that relationship and help our agents prosper. So the profitability side, we know as an agency, that's long game stuff and it's going to come. But with our actual production as an agency, and that's what we're seeing, is just significant growth. We're there. It's just, it takes a little bit of time. And again, that's how we go back to one of the first questions you asked me. 15 to 30 agents in 1 year in a mom and pop shop. That's a big deal. And to be able to hold on to all of those people that have come on, I am certain we wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of Keywave and these seminars. It wouldn't have happened. We couldn't have done it.
Since partnering with us, can you elaborate a little more on how the business has grown in terms of like team expansion, like you mentioned, keeping your team members busy, or just like adding new team members or departments?
Yeah, so what's been great is the ability each week, regardless if we have a seminar in that area. So again, we took your system and plugged it into ours. So let's say this week, I have an agent that is in Tyler, Texas, where we have run multiple seminars. That agent is not running a seminar this week. But also, because they're in that area, that agent gets the seminar leads from the past. So of course, like we said, if we have 40 RSVPs to a seminar and 25 of them show up, there's 15 people that didn't come, that we have information that they requested us to reach out. So we're able to call those people, and it's not a cold call. We're able to put a phone call in and say, hey, Mr. Jones, this is Matt Allen. I ran the seminar in Tyler back in November 10th of 2024. You weren't able to make it. I'd be happy to come by and spend some time with you at your home and give you a personal appointment that I can help you out with Medicare. And that is so powerful. Just the ability, that's just for the folks that didn't come. Having that ability for those agents to be able to work with clients or prospects that you guys had marketed for us that may not have come to a seminar, we may not have turned them into a client. The ability, again, just to outreach to those folks has been tremendous. That has been, again, I got to go back to retaining these new folks. I know our database, I know our system, and this is just a feather in their cap, an arrow in their quiver to be able to get more opportunities. And at the end of the day, that's all we're looking for. The system that we have in place is built that if we can get belly to belly, we're the superhero at the table. We're helping these people. And so if we can just get that opportunity, that's where you guys came in. So if our agents make the prospect into a client, we're not reaching out to those folks. It's the ones that are still sitting there, and there's still value to that. Again, this person that signs up for a seminar this week may be 63 years old. We've got 2 years till they're basically Medicare age. So we're going to stay in their ear. If they came to get a meal and get an understanding of what's coming, they're going to work for 2 more years. We understand that. We notate that. Your system allows us to notate it, follow up with them, automate some different kinds of communications that we need to get out to them, and stay in their ear. We'll then circle back and we'll have that opportunity. And that has actually, Aasim, that has happened since June of 23 already, where we've had clients now that we just couldn't turn into a client back then on Medicare. And there's also been those people under 65 that come in for Medicare, and lo and behold, as we explain to them what we do, they ask us for help with life insurance. They ask us for help with the retirement portion, the financial side of the retirement portion of the rest of their life. And so we have made clients that way, that it was an introduction to Medicare that took us there. So that's why I think we've been able to really, really maintain our workforce as is, and the ability now to continue growing. There's no reason why we're not going to continue to add agents at this point, because we have, through your system and our system, we have the ability to bring people on and not feel like our system is being crushed. We're able to still work through and generate more leads than what these guys are able to turn into clients, and so that gives us the ability to continue to grow.
Cool. Can you share any specific milestones you have reached in client acquisition or other points of the business?
Yeah, undoubtedly. So October 2024, our agency did over $1 million in production. The agency's inception, again, was in 1998. That had happened only one other time. So that was, it was before I was here. So again, I've been here for 15 years. So that happened. We'll then follow that up in November of 2024. We topped $1 million in production again. 2 months in a row has never happened for us. And I would say our business mix of what we do here, 80% of it is still Medicare. So, and that's basically what it was. Well, early on in inception, it was basically 99% Medicare. But still to this day, we're about 80% Medicare, and we pushed over $1 million in production, which again was unheard of, especially 2 months in a row for our agency. In December, we're nearing, I'm going to pull a number just so I can actually give you an honest answer. In December, I know that we are nearing $800,000. Yeah, we're at $850,000 in production with about a week left. So we may top $1 million in production for our agency, which is, again, the milestone. I can't even put into words what that means, because it's so far above and beyond. I guess, well, let me give you an idea. An average month for our agency not during AEP is between $100,000 and $150,000 in production. We've done $1 million a month for 2 straight months, and we're on pace to do it again. It's insane. That's not all Keywave, but that it has been absolutely helpful in, again, like I said, I can tell you right now we're about 25% seminar sales in that number. So it has been a huge role in our milestones that we've achieved over the last 3 months. Our growth as an agency, we're on track now compared to 2022 for almost 50%. I'm sorry, 2023. For almost 50% growth as a company. That's going to be attributed to our workforce growing. We doubled our workforce, so the average agent here is going to still add on to those numbers. But yeah, I mean, it's not a coincidence, put it that way. I don't think that, I know for a fact in October and November we wouldn't have pushed over $1 million if we didn't have Keywave support. I know that.
How have you been able to grow the other lines of business and retirement planning?
Absolutely.
Help as a result?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that conversation starter to these folks of, there's something to a seminar lead that when they meet with us, the thought is we're meeting with an expert. You assume that. If I signed up for a seminar to go and sit and listen to somebody speak, I'm assuming they know what they're talking about. And we do. But what that also does is it gives us the ability to expand into other areas that we know what we're doing and we know that we're experts in. And so yes, our ancillary products, okay, so that's going to be your dental, vision, hearing, the short-term care policies, cancer plans. Those have taken such a steep increase. I don't know how we can keep that growth coming. But yes, the growth is there, and it was simply because the ability of our agents to be able to explain thoroughly to somebody that doesn't know them from Adam the day they walk into the seminar of what we do. So yes, all product lines for our agency, from fixed index annuities, long-term care, life insurance, ancillary products, have all increased, as well as obviously Medicare products. Okay. And that's kind of the general area of what we do. And they have all gone up since the day we started working with you guys.
Beyond any specific metrics, what other signs indicate that you guys have grown? Any things like industry recognition or expanded service areas? What are some other signs that you've grown without being hard metrics?
Yeah, so first and foremost, it's going to be feedback from the agents that are running our seminars. When they come back, hey, with a receipt that, that long, I know we did pretty good that day. I know that we had quite a few people show up to that seminar. That's the first thing. I want to make sure that we know we have people coming in. From there, it's on us. You guys did your job. You got butts in the chair. So other than just looking at the numbers of clients coming in, we are compared to every agency in American Senior Benefits. Leaders keep score. We keep score. I know that our agency has gone from the 20th best agency in the country to the 10th this year. So that's, to me, basically tells us we're doing something right. I also know, based on you told me not to dive too deep, but I am like, I know on a per agent basis, compared to the top 3 agencies in the country for American Senior Benefits, our per agent, because we have 30 and they have 140, but our per agent average on production coming in is higher than theirs. Now, that doesn't just mean that I could go get 170 agents and equal them out, but it's enough to me to say the program is working and we're going to keep working with you guys. So that's really where we base it on, is agency feedback. How's it working? How is the environment that we're in? Did it work? How did you follow up? All those, the little details we have to go through with them to make sure that we're doing our job to make it work. And it does. It's just right now we're on a growth trajectory that we want to stay on. So we're not going to change it. But the only change we've made is added more.
Have you noticed improvements in employee retention and satisfaction since working with us?
Yeah. So again, in 2022, we did start to recruit, and our agency would sit around 10 to 15 agents. It seems like as we would recruit, the idea of how to prosper in this industry was bought into, and we have the tools to be successful. It's very difficult. And so it's not for everybody. And we found that out. And that's why at the time that we started working with you guys, we were sitting at around 15. And a lot of those 15 agents, we may have had 1 or 2 that were 6 months or younger. The agency has gotten to where the average agent here at that time was over 7 years of experience here with us. And so between that time frame and then we started working with you guys, we've added 15 to the number. And I would say our retention rate is well over 90% now. We do not bring somebody in and they just leave. It just doesn't happen. So yeah, we've been able to retain talent at such a higher clip than we have in the past. And I foresee this next year for us, I would love to say we'll double our growth again in the workforce, but we have the ability, if we can hire them in, I do believe with your system and our system together, there's no reason why that should change.
How has working with us and like what we've helped you do impacted your overall satisfaction with the work that you do?
If I didn't start personally, if we didn't as an agency start working with you guys, I don't know if I would be able to do my responsibilities that I have at the agency. It's given me the chance to really take on what I see are important roles for a sales director and distribute or allow others to take on bigger roles with our company, because I trust that your system, they can't screw it up. And like I said, when we first got going, this was my baby, so I was not going to let anything happen. And then after learning it, I realized, okay, this is not too difficult. So then once I was able to train my first manager to take the program over, which was Chris Green, and really get an understanding of it, it was on him. So that gave me the ability to look at different areas on how we could better the actual system. How do we make our presentations better? So then we would rebuild the presentation and then we would test it. It was the same concept on proof of concept for you guys. We took that system that Beth Moss had. That was not the right system for us, but we took the system, tested it, then revamped it, tested it, revamped it. And that's basically what I did for the first year, is constantly try and just make our process just a little bit better. I would not have been able to do that if your system that you had in place wasn't so easy, because I would not have trained somebody on it. I wouldn't have passed that off. And then I don't know if we would have been able to continue with the pressure that I receive as a sales director of an agency with 30 agents, while also trying to solely run the seminars. And so that's what really allowed us, again, back to the simplicity of the system, to train others on it. And I'm telling you, we have 2 agents in their 70s that computers, it was very difficult for them to check emails. They run your system without any issue now. And that's been a game changer for us and for me personally.
Wow. What excites you the most about the future working with us? I see you have 9 events booked for January of 2025. What does that signify about your growth plans?
Yeah, so immediately off the bat, we knew in 2025 we were going to start at 2 a week for the Fort Worth office. So our agency we basically have a small agency in Salina, Kansas. And so we have been trying to trickle the seminars up to them as well. It has been a struggle for us because they are in Salina, Kansas. So it's that getting the buy-in from, the gentleman is 65 years old that runs the agency, getting that buy-in from them. But we're still pushing them because they are still successful. They're just not as successful as we are. So that's why we don't do 2 a week for them. That's it. For growth strategy, I mean, it was a no-brainer. Okay, we're going to start with 2, and then we'll ramp up as we continue to go. What excites me is I know that Keywave is on the forefront of understanding that the market is changing. There are more tools out there available to us through artificial intelligence, literally the ability to market to an endless amount of people. And I know that you guys are making sure that you take the steps necessary to stay on the forefront of all these changes. So that's where we trust what you're doing, because you've proven to us that you know what you're doing. And so that's really why we're so excited to keep working with you guys, is because we know that y'all have our best interests in mind, just like we have our prospectives' best interests in mind. And it's just been a great relationship. So we just wanted to continue to maintain the relationship at minimum, and we're glad that we could continue to grow with you guys. I mean, I know that 2 seminars a week is probably not a lot, but also we hope to be able to ramp it up to 4 a week, and then more, which I believe will be what happens in AEP of 2025. That's kind of where we're headed.
Yeah, I mean, we're really grateful for the trust you put in us, us the chance, month in, month out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there was a portion of time where I'm trying different avenues, and I'm going to Jake Bailey, the managing partner for the agency, and I'm saying, okay, we got to spend $3,000 over here on this avenue, and then I need $1,000 to run this one campaign for a month to see how it works. And so you have made it where I can say, hey, remember, I still have Keywave working for us. Not working, but it's prospering for us. And so I definitely fall back on you guys quite a bit now.
Just reflecting on the journey, from the challenges you faced before working with us to where you are now, what's the single biggest difference you've experienced in your role?
A lack of stress, because beforehand we perfected the system that we had in place. We also knew that system is effective, but it was very hard to get off the ground. And again, my major role here as a sales director is really to make sure that our agents are prosperous. And so in integrating your system into ours and having that ability to simply say, guys, if you will learn how to run a seminar, we're going to have 15 to 20 opportunities without you picking up a phone, without having to set an appointment. Those appointments are set right there at Golden Corral in Dallas on Tuesday night at 5:30. You just gotta, just like a baby, just make sure that you work with them and help them. So it's been insanely helpful on the stress of onboarding people. in addition to that, just our current agents and being able to help more people has been just amazing. So that's what has really helped me out is the stress and concern of any new agent that comes in, or really any agent here. We always have those opportunities for them at any time now, because after a year and a half, we've been able to build up its own database of opportunities that if somebody has a hardship, like I've mentioned, we work geographical areas. So we don't just work in Fort Worth. And so if I'm sending an agent 3 hours away, but their daughter graduates from high school on a Wednesday night, then I can say, well, no problem. Would you like to work the seminar leads from Dallas that we have now built up over 100 opportunities where they expressed interest to us to help them. Now that's not 100 opportunities that are brand new, but you get what I'm saying. So it just gives us more flexibility too, which has been so important, because there were times when that would happen and it would be, this is what we've got. I'm sorry, you don't have to go, but then that agent doesn't have the opportunity to provide for their family that week. And now that's completely out of the equation. And it's such a different conversation. You know, it's not negative in any way. I'm sorry you don't get to work this week. Hey, no problem. We've got seminar leads. Let's go work these. We can turn off that and we'll get back out there next week. It's just been fantastic.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that just happened. And honestly, that just happened organically. That literally scenario I just gave you literally happened. Yeah. And at the moment, I didn't think, we've got seminar leads. And I got an email. It was either from you or I got an email right around the time that I was having the conversation across from me. And it was like, boom, why didn't I think about this?
No
Here
brainer.
we go. Let's see what we can find in other areas that are closer, and you can just try and go and work with them. I found over 100 opportunities in Dallas. And she actually had a good week. We were in that 3 to 5 range of calling those folks. She was able to I know she had a good week that week. This has now been last year, so I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it was enough to say, wow, this is an opportunity for other agents if this were to come up. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Just, again, stress, brother. This side of things, that stress is slowly rescinded.
So final question over here. If someone watching this was in a similar position, trying to scale marketing efforts, maybe trying to help retain team members more effectively, or just generally if they're unsure how to connect with people in need of help, what would you tell them about working with Keywave Digital?
You know, I would say our agency has been a successful agency for a very long time. And when we were told about you guys, it came from another successful agency with a group, a company that is very successful. So when we were told about the opportunity, there was some doubt just because it's human nature. You've just got to give yourself the opportunity to grow. And if you stay in the mindset of what I have is working, number one, or number two, everything I've tried is not working, you're not giving yourself a chance for growth. Listen, again, back to, as I said earlier in this conversation, you're not paying me to tell you about our experience. So anybody that's listening to me right now, I can tell you unequivocally, you need to give this a shot. It works. It takes time, just like everything. But once you understand this system and you perfect the system, which you can do, you know, we're average Americans here that took on a position in Medicare and wanted to help people. The system that you have in place gives us the ability we can have the most intelligent person or somebody that is just a high school graduate with a license easily take this system on and then be able to build something that will change your agency's growth outlook in a positive manner. I cannot tell you how great our experience has been with Keywave and Aasim personally. I love Aasim and John just because you are great people too. That's also so important. I met you face to face, knew that I'd like to believe I'm a good judge of character. I just felt like you had your heart in the right place, and I wanted you to be successful, A, while also us prospering, B. And I can tell you that anybody that's thinking about doing something like this, we got lucky. You know, if I wasn't sitting in that room that day listening to Beth Moss in June of 23, I don't know if we would have met. And I can't tell you how important it's been that all that happened. I'm so glad that I stepped off the ledge, I jumped in the high end, and we just went after it. And the good thing is the program is set to where if you want to dip your toe in the water, you can do it. You don't have to go full bore. I mean, y'all's system it seems like it's easily scalable up. We haven't had any problems as we've scaled up. But also on the low side, if you feel like you're just a two-man agency that's just getting started, when you work with Keywave and you let them know where you're at, that tailored opportunity that Keywave gives to you is just it's such a good opportunity that I don't see how you can pass it up. So that's why I hope anybody listening or sees this, hears me when I say this, I mean it 100%. It's been the biggest differentiator in our company in the last 10 years in a positive manner. We felt like we were just kind of just spinning our wheels there for a little bit as we were trying to figure out different avenues. And then when I was able to just say, here, Keywave, take the keys and help us. You guys took it and ran with it, and we haven't looked back. So I hope that anybody hears that really understands where I'm coming from. I'm trying to give as honest of an answer as I can because it is true. I think that I don't see how if somebody comes in and works with Keywave and they give it the effort that they're not going to succeed. And if you have that mindset and you're that agency owner that thinks like that, Keywave will work for you. And the seminar program will work for you. Even if you've never done a seminar. Literally, I had personally never done a seminar before meeting with Keywave. And I was successful on the very first one with all of the stuff that I screwed up. I was successful on the first one. And now, a year and a half later, we've got 15 agents. We have 30 agents, but we have 15 that basically run the seminars. And they run them seamlessly. It's now just again, it's gotten to set it and forget it as well.
Just
Levitate.